And I call you back.
I am Michael Fanfare, 50 years old, the Big 5-0, aka One Man Show, aka Hot Fudge, depending on which circles you know me from. A lot of creatives in my family. I always grew up around creative people. My older sister introduced me to house music. She was heavy into house music. I didn't like it. It sounded like bleeps and bloops, and it was like there's no soul to this. And the more I listened to it, the more it spoke to me. I didn't choose it. It kind of chose me. As a dancer, I had no direction where to go other than to keep following that style of music, house music. So my first love was hip hop. It still is my first love, but as far as movement, really extravagant movement and free, open movement, that all went towards the house music. There was a club on every night, a Monday night. It would be in Footloose. Tuesdays, we'd go to Still Life. Wednesdays, there was 3-4 options. Thursdays, there was 5-6 options. Fridays, there was 10 options. Saturdays, another 10 options. Always Phoenix on Sunday. That was the highlight of our day. If you had a day job, you're a sucker. I can go to a club and spend 5 hours in the club and not dance just because the music's not doing it for me. I will wait and I will wait and I will wait, and it's like a trigger. When I'm at my best, my eyes are closed because I'm not looking at anything. I'm feeling the music. If you don't have the music, how can you express the dance? It's symbiotic, right? You've got to have the gasoline to make the car move, to make it work, right? So the music is what it's all about. I hate 8 counts. I live by 8 counts, but I hate them. I hate having to repeat.
Bang, 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 kick. Down,
It seems very soulless to me. So there was a point in time when I was doing choreography, and as I'm dancing, the music would tell me to do something different. So when I should step right, I step left instead. When I should be looking up, I'm looking down because the music made me do something different. That kind of pressure brought me a lot of anxiety. I found choreography to be very hard because of the scrutiny. But the club scene now, you are your own artist, you are your own vessel, you have nothing to prove, no one to impress, and when that free flow came, that's when I did my best work. We were not trying to impress anyone, we were just doing what the music made us do. As far as dance is concerned, there was a lot of old school dancers, like Cab Calloway and all, that stuff that when we were dancing, if you look back at it, we're saying, oh no, Charleston, that's kind of like this step. There's all these dances that we did, but we renamed them, changed the step a little bit, depending on what it was, we would toughen it up or do whatever, like a jazz circle, a simple jazz circle. We used to call it the ghetto step. And you could do the Charleston in my day, but the way you moved your body and the music you were doing it to made it something different. But it was really the same thing. We were there for the birth of much music and Rap City and all that, so those were, key times. It was all VHS tapes. Those were the things we would rewind and watch again and rewind and watch again and emulate those moves and practice those moves until we kind of took it on ourselves and made it our own. Later on in the 2000s, there was a TV show called Electric Circus, and there was a spin-off, a competition show to that show after it got really popular called Dance Nation. Now, that nation was a little more underground in their choice of music, their choice of DJs, and it highlighted more of the local DJs and the local club scene. So we were all club kids by then. We did the whole run of that show, and that's where we can look back and see, oh, this was me back then, and oh, there's that person and this person, and it just blew up from there. I guess my crowning glory was that I choreographed all the dance scenes in Cardinal Official's video for Hustlin', which was the height of my choreography career, because that's the most organized choreography that I've ever done. And I won't take all the credit because I was part of a crew and we all held practices and rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed. And again, just like in typical form in that video, it's a 30-second snippet of, you know, weeks and weeks of practicing and working with novice dancers and regular people, and we had our little time to shine there. I always was different than everyone else growing up, and it used to be something that would make me very introverted. I didn't want to stand out, but then once I just started being my natural self, I naturally stood out. And I think that a lot of the dancers at that time can relate, because they too were like that. You know, you would see a certain person or a certain crew and you'd be like, oh, these guys, they're different. They're out there, they're wild, or they're, you know, whatever it was that they brought to the table that was different. I think that it helped to develop things in a different way, where now it became cool to be different. You became more of a celebrity because you weren't like the status quo. At 24, I had my first child, my daughter. So that definitely changed how I lived. Clubbing almost stopped immediately because that's a life-changing situation. There's a lot of responsibility. It was heaped on a very irresponsible 24-year-old. At this point, I've had both of my hips replaced. Yeah, I had a motorcycle accident and I got a job in construction, so that took a lot of heavy toll on the body. And I was pretty much off the scene, I would say, for a good 10 to 12 years. No clubbing. After my kids have grown up and I kind of reintroduced myself to the scene, to me it feels like a brand new start to something that for me is very old. On a molecular level, my body is an instrument. It's like a tuning fork almost. It's like I hear it, I feel it, my body does it.